Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be my second video on how to make your own weapon, and if you found the last video kind of difficult to do, this one will be very easy. All we're going to be doing is making a spear, which is just a stick with a pointy end. You think you can do that? Okay, well good, because you probably can. If you find it difficult to cut down a tree with a saw, then I get it. It's kind of hard for me to cut down a tree with a saw too. So instead, I just use these loppers. They cut down thin trees very easily. If you use that, it'll probably be easier than cutting it down with a saw. So I'm back in this little grove of trees we have back here. These are about the size you want the stick to be. So I'm gonna go look for some that are good to pick out. I'm gonna cut down this tree that's right here. You always want to cut it at the very bottom, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so now that you've cut the tree down, then you gotta cut it down to size. Probably. Oh my gosh. Woo! Probably want it about head height, like right here. So this is going to be my spear. Once you're all done cutting the branches off of the stick and cutting your stick to the right length, now you can shave all of the bark off the stick. Once you've shaved all the bark off of your stick, it should look something like this. It's okay if there are still some splinters on that, because you can go ahead and sand that off with sandpaper. The first grit of sandpaper you should use to sand down your stick would be 60 grit. 60 grit is very rough and it gets all the splinters out good. You want to sand back and forth like this until all the splinters are off. After you've sanded your stick down with the 60 grit sandpaper, you can do the same thing with the 220 grit sandpaper. The 220 grit sandpaper is good for getting the stick nice and smooth so it feels comfortable. After you've sanded your stick with a 220 grit sandpaper, your stick should feel comfortable and very smooth to the touch. And while I was sanding my stick, somehow I got a cut on my finger, you probably can't see it, and it stained my stick with blood, which is just great. If you have a rough end on the end of your stick, you should cut that off with a table saw. Now we're going to start making the spearhead. You can take out your pocket knife and then from the thin end of your stick. Then you can measure 4 inches down the thin end of the stick, and at the 4-inch mark, you can make a little pencil line. We're going to make a notch kind of like this one, and you can use that with a pocket knife like this, just by etching it out like this. And do that all the way around. Okay, so my weird cousin, Janetti, and my cute Maddie little sister wanted to be in the shot, so just deal with it. So anyways, after you cut out the notch in your stick, it should look something like this. And then after you cut the notch in your stick, you can make a spearhead like I did here. And you can do that by just shaving the end of the stick down. I'm gonna crop you out.
You can't crop me out.
Stop! You're so weird. So after you've made the notch in your stick right here, and after you've cut the tip of it down into a spearhead, you can sand it with the 60 grit sandpaper, just like this, to get all the rough splinters off. And then you can use the 220 grit sandpaper after that. After you finish sanding the tip of the spear down, you can use the spray paint that we used in the last video to spray paint the tip of the spear. After you sprayed it, it should look something like this. Now for the very final step of making your spear, you need to get a piece of twine about a foot long. You're going to use it to wrap it around the spear like this. Wrap it around once like this, and make sure it's tight. And you wrap it around, make it cross, make it look like an X. Do that again. Do it and then do it one more time. You should probably tie it like a box knot. So you tie it once, like this. Make it go under this piece of twine, and then you tie it as tight as you can. Now take out a thin nail like this one, and a hammer, and where you made the box knot, at the knot part right here, you're going to hammer the nail through right here so it stays in. Once you've put the nail through the twine, you can go ahead and cut off the extra twine. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure on your way out you hit the like and subscribe button and turn your notifications on, because next video we are going to make a ginormous battle axe. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Ooh. Stop it! Butt shake!
I'll just be in the background shaving.
This is weird. Okay, so you almost cut my ass!
Sup, do you like Fortnite?
Stop. So after you've made the notch in your stick,
What?